Welcome to the Rotary Club of Edina, the #1 club in the universe. That's us! We're very humble too, Terryl, as you can tell. My name is Michael Stanzak, and I am humbled and honored to serve as your 67th president. Thank you! We have a very inspirational meeting planned today with Terryl Brumm of the Boys and Girls Club of the Twin Cities. I can't wait to hear her presentation. Thank you all for being here in person and for those of you that are joining us on Zoom. We love you Zoomers out there. Thanks for being here. All right, our member spotlight today. Toshie Metzger had a hole-in-one. Yeah, baby. As you might recall, Joe Aarons had one last week. He's had 4. This was for Toshie's first. Yes.
Mark Stagenberg. I had one on Sunday.
Congratulations! See, it's something in the water, Lisa Walker. You might have one too. I don't know. But anyway, I asked Toshie about it, and she said it was 150 yards, and I hit it, and the next thing she said was, bingo, it went in! Way to go. Congratulations, Toshie. And that famous University of Minnesota alumni, Mark Jessen, better known as a co-creator of Elite Gate, was throwing out a great first pitch at the Twins game. You know, Mark and PJ Fleck have so much in common. Really, they were both athletes, you know, in second grade, and they both live on the lake. But anyway, there's Mark with great form, along with PJ Fleck and Goldie Gopher. Well done. So, Rotary in the news. We're honored to have our past district governor, the Gumper, Tom Gump, here with some very exciting news about the upcoming zone conference. Bear with me one second. You know, we were at a board meeting the other day, and Renee Harbour says, zone, what's the zone? And so somebody explained, I didn't exactly know either, it's kind of like a time zone. It's just a way of grouping Rotary clubs. So our zone runs from Canada to Mexico. So think of Central Time Zone. Enough, here's Tom.
Thank you. President Michael, thank you. It's great to be here with my favorite club. Don't tell my own club. We're going to have such a great time in Houston. We are going to have all kinds of entertainment. Mr. Murphy's going to come, and Mr. Nelson's going to come. And thanks to the generosity of Dr. Dash, who is our presenting sponsor for the whole event, we're just going to have a wonderful event. We're going to have singing cadets. We're going to have a mariachi band. We're going to have a drum line. We're going to have the Houston Ballet. We're going to have great speakers. We're going to have Jennifer Jones, who's our next president, a first female president in Rotary International. We're going to have Brian Duffy, who's an astronaut from the Astronaut Hall of Fame. There is such a thing. I don't know what you have to do to get in it, but there is such a thing. We're going to have Dean Roars, who's one of our trustees. We're going to have Ian Risley. There's all kinds of training tracks at the Zone Institute. We'll have the DG line. We'll be learning how to be DGEs and DGNs. Catherine Gump from your club is actually going to be the partner trainer for the partners. My beautiful wife, who I love so much. But the exciting news is we actually are going to have a drawing next week. So one member of your club, again, thanks to the generosity of Dr. Dash, is going to be able to have their airline, it's in Houston, right, September 7th through 12th, their airline, their registration, all the foods included within the registration, all because of Dr. Dash will be covering that. And the hotel too. Yeah. So if you have any questions whatsoever, just let me know, and thank you again, Dr. Dash and your foundation.
So as a brief follow-up, Bridget, if you want to go, escape from your husband and your adorable 1-year-old son, anybody that's interested in getting their name to the drawing, let me know, because we're going to do a live drawing 1 week from today to see who our lucky Edina Rotarian is that receives a all-encompassed free trip to the Rotary Zone Conference. Now, back to Rotary in the news. Last Thursday night was a blast. It was the Denim and Diamonds Gala, benefiting the Edina Chamber of Commerce, and there were many Rotarians there. If you look at the first slide, you can see Kayla Beeler, Don Hutchison, Renee Harbers with her wonderful husband David Wendt, Jennifer Hendrickson, and Lindsay Smaka. There in the middle is Lisa Walker and Shelley Loberg. And one of those ladies even persuaded some of us to dance. So stay tuned, you might see something. Birthdays, Gay Clap is here. Gay, your birthday is coming up. I hope you celebrate in good health and have fun. Tom Bach's birthday is coming up. Kip Peterson's birthday is coming up as well. It takes a whole village to run a meeting. It takes a whole village to put on a gala. Helping out today are Skip Thomas and Doug Drake, who are our greeters. Marty Cooper and Becky Mikowski are at the front desk. Our Zoom greeter is Scott Blake. Dennis Hykes will be giving the invocation, the Pledge of Allegiance, and the four-way test. Catherine Gump will be introducing the guests, not our speaker, my faux pas. Steve Slyce will be introducing our speaker. Doug Johnson will be thanking the speaker. Thank you, Rick Carlson, for taking pictures to put on social media. And thank you again, Scott, for helping out with the AV. Please rise for the invocation, the Pledge of Allegiance, and the four-way test.
Well, good afternoon, fellow Rotarians and guests. Please join me in prayer. Heavenly Father, be with us in this meeting, we pray, another meeting of this remarkable thing called Rotary. Yes, Rotary, designed and operated not to serve the interests of its members or of its customers or of its employees or owners, but designed and serving others. So bless us in our service to others, our service to the local community, and our service internationally. Bless all we do in this fine Rotary Club. We in this room and on this Zoom call are greatly blessed by your benevolence, Heavenly Father. Accept our thanksgiving for our health, the health of our families, our financial security, our energy, and our acuity. Heavenly Father, the stark realities of the news each day remind us that we are not in control. We've been outsmarted by the Taliban in Afghanistan. We've been outsmarted by the COVID virus, and we continue to suffer from the wildfires in the Pacific Northwest and from the pervasive drought and the heat waves plaguing our country. So, Sovereign God, finally we come to you in humility. And our prayer of petition this day is for patience, forbearance, understanding, and trust. Be with us, we need you. Hear our prayers, Heavenly Father. We pray all this in your great and holy name. Amen. Amen. Join me then. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And our four-way test. First, is it the truth? And second, is it fair to all concerned? Third, will it build goodwill and better friendships? And fourth, will it be beneficial to all concerned? Good job.
Hi there. I am delighted to welcome several very special guests today. Bridget Hallstrom has a guest who's here for her second visit, Kirsten Hubenbecker. Welcome. Bridget, do you want to say anything about Kirsten here?
Sure. Kirsten is an attorney in Edina. She's from St. Cloud, and she's very interested in joining our club.
Welcome. Michael Stanzak has a guest, Matt Bennett.
I have a dear friend of my family, Matt Bennett, who's over there, up-and-coming financial planner. I've known Matt a long time. He's even downloaded our membership application. Thinking about coming to a gala, he says, I dance. I don't know if anybody wants to see me dance. But anyway, thanks for being here, Matt. So all right.
Welcome, Matt. Toshie Metzger, you have a guest, Sam Gross, today?
Yes.
Do you want to introduce Sam to us?
Yeah, he's an insurance agent person, and most of my borrowers goes to him to buy a house and insure by him. So
Wonderful. Well, welcome, Sam. Tim Murphy, you have two special guests today, Scott Simpson and Jim Nelson.
Okay, Scott is a good friend, and he's my ride today, so he was convinced to bring me. And I don't claim to be Jim Nelson's friend. He's an attorney from Minneapolis, but he is a Rotarian at the Minneapolis City of Lakes. So,
Jim, I will claim you as my friend. And then I have a special guest. I just want to be clear that I am the member of the club here, and my husband, the former district governor, Tom Gump, is here as my guest today. Thank you.
As many of you know, we have our third annual car show coming up, and boy, do we have a fun little thing to watch to learn about that. But hey, a special shout out to Tim Murphy and his sons at Grandview Auto. Thank you, Ryan Wilson. Maybe you're on Zoom for Tradition Mortgage for helping to sponsor the car show. Susan, where are you? Wave. I can't see you. Thank you, Susan Stiles, for your financial planning company for being a sponsor. And thank you, the architect of the car show, Mr. Josh Bragg. Again, all the money that these sponsors give, along with the money that's generated by people showing their cars, flows into the foundation, which we give away. So without any further ado, thanks to Chris and Josh for putting this together. It's fun.
Hey everybody, Josh Sprague from Lake Sotheby's International Realty. I'm here to talk about the 3rd annual Edina Car Show happening at Southdale, September 11th from 12 to 4 p.m. Take a look right now at this empty parking lot. It's gonna be filled with cars so soon, you won't believe it. Easy access to the bathrooms, entertainment, and lunch, and everything you need inside. And we're gonna have some amazing cars. We had about 150 cars last year in this parking lot. This is the old Herberger's parking lot. And we're gonna have some great surprises for you as well. Like this. Oh, what do we have right here? Check this out. Wow, look at that. It's our sponsor, Key Cadillac, Michael Stanzak. How are you doing?
Hey, I'm doing great.
Hey, what is coincidence you're here? I'm talking about the 3rd annual Edina Car Show.
Well, Key Cadillac has always been pleased to be a sponsor for the past 2 years, and we always have new Cadillacs, whatever the latest is, and we're hoping to have a 21 Escalade, but this year we have a little something extra.
Oh, wow.
Meet Thelma.
Thelma.
She's a 1976
Woo!
Bicentennial Edition Eldorado convertible.
Okay, show us around a little bit. Show us around.
1976 was the last year that Cadillac was going to make the full-size Eldorado. And
Okay.
the last 200 of these were identical.
Okay.
With red and blue pipe pinstripes, the red dash. Notice the red piping, and then if you walk around and look on the dash, there's a little plaque that says this is one of the last.
Let's see.
200
Look at those fins, baby.
Yeah, that's her name. Thelma 76.
Woo! Let's see that. Okay, and then I'm gonna take a look. You said at that plaque. Let's take a look.
Look closely at the plaque that says that this is one of the last 200 Eldorado Fleetwood convertibles made by General Motors.
Look at that. That is too
Sit in her
cool.
Aunt Delore.
Wow. Well, I'll tell you what, I'm looking forward to another great show this year. Make sure you come out September 11th, 12 to 4 p.m. We're gonna have exotics, vintage, collectors, and of course, the latest and greatest Key Cadillac vehicles from the 2021 model year.
Yes, and
All
maybe
right.
some 2022s. We hope you can make it. It'll be great family fun.
We'll see you soon. Free to spectators, $10 to register your car in advance, 20 day of. And thanks again to the North Star Cadillac LaSalle Car Club. Ed, thank you very much for helping us with setup and registration the day of. See you soon.
Be well, everybody.
EdinaCarShow.com.
Josh said that was a blue shirt event. Do you know what that means, Bridget? I didn't either. That's where we wear our Rotary blue shirt, so people, the guests, know that we're Rotarians and it promotes our club, Bob.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. I'm here to invite us all to the biggest social event from the social committee of the year. At least that's what I think, anyway. It's on Saturday, September 18th at 9 to 11:30 at Target Field at Gate 28, and it's the Walk to End Alzheimer's. Did you know that 1 out of 8 people over 50 get Alzheimer's? And more people die from Alzheimer's each year than breast cancer and pancreatic cancer combined. So come and join us for the spectacular social committee event of the year. The walk will last between 1 and 3 hours, depending on what you want to do, which path you want to take, and that kind of thing. So we walk around the mall, the Nicollet Mall, and then come back to the Target Field. So be a part of the Rotary team and either donate and walk, or you can just walk with us if you want. That's fine. You can sign up on our website. So in the Barker, there's a little sign up here that you can sign up everything. And every year, I stand up here and talk to this about Alzheimer's because of my mom. And she died in 2005 from complications from Alzheimer's. And she got it at 69 and she died without even knowing who I was. So it's a terrible disease. I hope that all of you in this room don't have to deal with it, but unfortunately, every year I hear of more and more people that come up to me and say, is there anything I can do? Is there anything I can help with? So this is one of those things you can do to help with if you'd like. And Brad Hepp and Jennifer Hendrickson and I and Sue and everybody else on the committee would like to have you join us on Saturday, September 18th, if you can make it. And we'd love to have you join us. Thank you.
For those of you that don't have your raffle tickets, get them. They're here. Again, it just helps with our gala for the fundraising of that.
Just like Paul P. So buy a dozen, sell a dozen. Rotary Raffle. Go raise some cash and we will give it away. The R-O-T-A-R-Y way. Sing it, raffle. 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 Sell your tickets for a raffle. Sell 'em. Sell 'em. Sell 'em. Sell 'em. Rotary's Diamond Jubilee. Oh, Smarty, get off my foot! Get off my foot! More cowbell! Set up the cowbell! Pull up the limo, I'm out of here. Mac Daddy, show us the money.
What fun! Thank you, Paul Peterson, and everybody who participated in making it that. So big news on the Rotary Gala. You will be receiving in the mail an invitation, and when you get it and open it up, there is an RSVP so you can determine what you want to eat and whether or not you're going to be there. And some of us attended a tasting menu, and we're going to have fantastic food. We're going to have braised short rib with potatoes and squash, or we're going to have grilled chili and sea bass with mango salsa. Anyway, it's going to be great. Fun appetizers, amazing desserts, and we even have some wine if you want to drink wine. That's complimentary. So good things to look forward to. The Gala Committee is hard at work. Thank you, Kayla. Thank you, Paul. And thank you, Jody. Going back to that Demin Diamonds thing, somebody got us to maybe demonstrate music that we might see at the gala. Maybe it was Kayla that got us to do that. Come dance with us on Saturday, October 2nd. Do we know how to have fun or what? Matt, and I'm so sorry I forgot your name, we're fun, so you want to be part of our club because we have a good time, so. Okay. Steve Slyce was born and raised in Minnetonka, graduated from Hopkins Lindbergh High School in 1974 and Hennepin Technical Center in 1976. His first job was in Edina at the National Food Store at 50th and France, now Lund's, when he was in 9th grade. He's been married to his wife Nancy since 1985. They're blessed with 2 daughters and 3 grandchildren. He retired from Peter's Billiards in April 2021 after 44 years. How lucky was Peter's Billiards? I mean, he sold me a pool table, a cool light to go over the pool table, bar stools. He's a rock star. He joined Edina Rotary in 2001 and served as its president in 2013 to 2014. Certainly one of the kindest, most genuine people I've ever met in my life. Please welcome my friend and fellow Rotarian, Steve Slyce.
Thank you, Michael. So I should have an asterisk on my bio. Actually, my first job was at the Minneapolis Golf Club, and I didn't think of it too much as a job. I was a caddy, and I was just there to hone my golf skills. So that was actually, yeah, not too good, as you know. Some people ask why we're friends. Well, I'm pleased to introduce our speaker today, Terryl Brumm. She's president and CEO of the Boys and Girls Club of the Twin Cities. And under Terrell's leadership, the organization has increased financial resources from $5 million in 2016 when she took on that role to $8 million currently in 2021. So quite an increase. Terryl earned her BS in child psychology from the University of Minnesota. Yay! And an MBA from the University of Phoenix. Terryl was born close by here in southwest Minneapolis, and her husband Victor and her currently live in West Bloomington. And we were talking before the meeting. She has what are you doing? Every room in the house, remodeling, outside, landscaping, driveway, the whole works. So a big project that she's leading. Terryl serves on the board of directors for Ignite After School and Artistry Theater and Visual Arts. Terryl is also a fellow Rotarian. She's an active member of the City of Lakes Rotary Club. Jim Nelson's here. Let's give Terryl a big Edina Rotary welcome.
Thank you, Steve. I do have to say, like, knowing where you spent your career, back in the day, there was a lot of pool tables filling up our clubs from your former business. So thank you for that. I do want to say I'm so happy to be here with my fellow Rotarians to be able to tell our Boys and Girls Club story. It's, over the years we have done a lot to make a difference with kids, but I think really going deeper in some of the things that are most important right now for our organization are the things that I want to share with you. But we do have to start at the beginning, like our identity. So who we are as an organization. We have 10 locations and a camp out in Mound, Minnesota. A big thing about Boys and Girls Club that differentiates us, a lot of times people think we're big brothers, big sisters. We're not. We have locations and places where kids come. They're club members. We also have full-time professional staff. In fact, 81% of our staff are full-time professionals. So it makes a difference when you have people that stay with you and work with those same kids over a long term, from kindergarten all the way up to 12th grade. Another key thing is our national relationship. You've probably seen our logo, Boys and Girls Club of America, MLB is a partner, others across the nation. But really, that relationship is based on a federated model. There's over 1,000 Boys and Girls Club organizations across the country, and we all work collectively to ensure the safety, security, equity for kids all across the nation. For us, I think the big thing that we focus on and we look at continually is our mission, our vision, our values, and then our overall objective. When you look at our mission, it's really enabling all young people, especially those who need us the most, to reach their full potential as productive, caring, responsible citizens. Now, wouldn't we all want that? We want that for all young people. But our vision goes a little deeper, and it talks a lot about ensuring that kids are on track to graduate high school with a plan for the future, demonstrating good character and leadership, and living a healthy lifestyle. But when we look at it, we take all of that in together and we look at our overall objective, which is that by 2025, we're saying that every young person will be on track to graduate high school with a plan for the future. So that's those kindergartners all the way up to 12th graders. We also go deeper, and we've set goals for ourselves that by 2025, 500 of our kids, 500 club seniors will graduate. Now, as all of you have experienced, COVID has done a number on so many different things that are normal in our lives, and in fact have impacted the number of kids that can be served in the club. So for the last 2 years, we have not tracked in 2020 and in 2021 the same number of youth. But I will tell you, we doubled the number of graduates from 2017 to 2019. So we were on our way. And as we look forward to 2022 graduates, our goal is to go towards that 300 plus graduates, which will get us on track to 2025 with 500 club seniors graduating on time with a plan for the future. Just to give you a map where we are, so we're not in Edina, but if you guys had the funding, we would come. So I will just tell you that our board is very, very interested in expansion and growth over the course of the next number of years. But right now we have 3 clubs in St. Paul, 5 clubs in Minneapolis, and added 2 clubs in Richfield 2 years ago. And as I mentioned before, we also have a camp out in Mound, Minnesota. Now that's a residential camp, or a miniaturista, I could say. It's actually in city proper of Miniaturista. You can go, our kids go to camp there, kids from local schools. I know Edina has sent kids out there to do environmental education programs, but you yourself could bring your corporation, your family. You could get married out at Voyager. So keep in mind that it's a wonderful, wonderful place to visit, or have, you could have a Rotary event out at Voyager at some point. Before I go on to some deeper information about the clubs, I do want to share, because I'm the only one here today, and as I said, we have a lot of full-time professional staff, and we have thousands of kids that come through the clubs on an annual basis. So I thought I'd share a video.
This is a safe, nurturing environment that offers the educational piece, scholarship opportunities, opportunities to play team sports, and have a safe place to be with your peers.
When I have trouble, they always try to help me no matter what. Or like sometimes when I'm stuck in my homework and I need help, I always ask the staff members if like, you guys can help me, and they actually do help me a lot.
One thing I like about the Boys and Girls Club is all the fun activities.
One thing I like from the Boys and Girls Club is playing with Legos.
What I like about the club is playing outside.
What I like most is the freedom to play in the gym and the freedom in the teens room, and just the overall space they give us to do whatever we want and have fun.
I would describe it as a haven, as a place for kids to be with their friends, with people that are gonna teach them good lessons, that are gonna help them be well-rounded kids.
The staff are great. I love them all. They're really nice, caring. They care about your future, and you know, they want you to succeed and get better at whatever it is you're trying to do.
They know that they're in a safe space, that staff are around for, you know, to talk about school, to talk about things that are going on at home, to talk about all of their greatness that they have going on in the community. And I think it just helps build and actualize their potential.
A lot of the kids here, you know, we don't know what goes on in their home life outside of the club. Coming here is a place where they get to go away from all that and get away from all of everything that's going home. They get to really focus on what they should be focusing on as a kid, which is school, and not worrying about what they're going to eat or if they're going to have clean clothes or not.
Southside Boys and Girls Club is jumping with activity, positive activity. Being a single mom, it gave me a sense of I can be at work and feel like that he's in a good place, that he's in a safe place, that I know he's working on school.
When I was younger, like, every day I could go into a computer lab and get help with my homework from somebody, and that was really impactful for me.
I think the club has a tremendous impact on the young people we serve in and out of crisis. We've been going through a crisis for over a year now. The Boys and Girls Club adjusted how they provide services looking at the needs of our young people.
2020 overall for everybody, just a tough year. But during that transition, our focus really turned to the education piece. During the school year, during the fall, we have an average of between 100 to 110 kids per day. Due to COVID, we had to go down to 25 kids per day.
To come down to that level of kids that you're providing service to, you're thinking about the ones that are missing on this.
We went totally, completely virtual. For any young person from the age of first grade to their senior year was able to come here to get tutoring help.
When I came down here and I was really confused on like an assignment or something or how to write a paper, there's people here like Ms. Gao who just helped me by asking me questions that I could easily write in my paper as like a sentence.
The Boys and Girls Club staff is a family. They're like another set of parents. They push you to think higher about your education, about your life, what you want to be, where you want to go.
One of the great things with the Boys and Girls Clubs of the Twin Cities, we offer young people a chance to support their community.
When the incident first happened with George Floyd and they did a basketball march, I think there was 60 or 70 kids just dribbling balls up to the memorial, and then they talked to them about it and the dialogue that's got going. You have to answer the hard questions, with your kids when we're right here.
I hate to say that it took a tragedy to kind of bring us all together, but I think people really are now seeing the big picture, that it's not about who has a slice of the pie. Now we're trying to work together to make sure that everybody has something, and it's not a competitive thing of my kids, your kids. It is really turning into our kids.
So when COVID hit in March 2020, we had to close down. So we spent a number of months going virtually. Literally by the governor closed things down on March 15th, and by March 18th, all of our staff were at home with computers and planning a virtual program for kids. By April 1st, we were serving meals for families and handing out educational materials. So in a year, between April 1st and the following April 2021, we provided 230,000 meals for families, in addition to all the other work that we were doing. Another big point is that when we hit Memorial Day weekend, we all know what happened. The world saw what happened. George Floyd was murdered a block from our Southside Village Boys and Girls Club. And if you think it rocked your world in Edina, I'm telling you, our club kids, our families, our staff were traumatized because this was happening here. This was happening in our community, Edina being part of it. And so we had to activate, we had to talk with kids and families, and at the same time, we had to make sure resources were provided. So what we did, I'll go to the next slide, I'll show you. So one of the cool things we did was Southside Village, as I said, was a block away from what happened, the George Floyd Memorial is now. But there was no grocery stores. Target was closed. There was not a lot available for families at that time. So we got donations, we got volunteers, and we opened the club up like its own Target. So we created a co-op for families to come shopping every day throughout the summer. It was phenomenal, and it really made a difference for the community. And again, went beyond what our mission calls us to do, but it was what we needed to do to support our families. At the same time, as I said, our kids and our staff were really wanting to activate. And so I connected nationally with some other Boys and Girls Club CEOs, and we put together a town hall that featured our kids and our staff, and they talked about police reform. They talked about safety in their community, and they talked for our youth from their perspective what is the most important thing that we can do as adults because of how they were feeling especially for our young kids of color, their experience is not what all of us as white people in this community were experiencing really at that time. And so it was a wonderful way to bring a collective of our board, supporters, staff, and kids together around having conversations. That led to having conversations with the the public safety commissioner of the state, legislators, and other people. And really, throughout this year, our young people have activated and created solutions. So often we hear Gen Z, the generation as a whole, that they're just complaining. They're telling us what we're doing wrong. But at the end, if you really sit down and listen to them and listen to our kids, they will tell you really awesome solutions that can help us as adults create a better world. COVID have impacted us. So just to come, people want to know about numbers. As you can see, we had 6,000 members pre-COVID. That led up to this last year. We've gone way down in our membership. We couldn't recruit kids because we couldn't let them in the club. We were limited for most of this year to 1-to-10 ratio. We did this summer go to 1-to-20, but because COVID is still in our community and clubs would have to close down at time, we did reduce that. We reduced that number even further. Our goal for, as you can see, for this next year is to go back up incrementally. But at the end of the day, our goal is not to just serve every kid. Our goal is to create deep impact for every kid that comes through our clubs. Reason being is every kid needs to reach their full potential. And really all of us have a responsibility to make sure that kids across this community have the resources, opportunities, and experiences to be their best self, because it's then that we're going to start to see all the changes that are necessary to have our community be the strongest and most thriving possible for all people that live in the Twin Cities. Just to give you a sense of our pillars, when we look at programming, and this has been consistent for the last decade, is we focused on academic success, healthy lifestyles, and good character and leadership. It's really the longevity of that program, though. It's starting early in education, health, in all of those areas. So the building blocks that go long term, so that we make sure that once the kids get to high school, they've had all the inputs of really awesome programming and strength building experiences so they can be their best self. That good character and leadership, if you want to hire young people who know what they're doing, that are going to show up, have all the essential skills you're looking for, you've got to embed that in the program model all the way through. And that's something Boys and Girls Clubs will do on a daily basis. We're not going to just do education, and we're not going to just have sports and nutrition and trauma-informed care programs, but we're going to make sure our kids are learning how to be their best self, be responsible, be caring, and be able to show the world how they can truly change and grow up to be a great leader. Another way to look at this is our continuum for success. So when we lay out all of our program models across the continuum by age, you can see where we do some things all the way through, like STEAM, science, technology, engineering, arts, and math will be continual. Good character and leadership we talked about. Healthy lifestyles, which includes mind, body, and soul. Those will be things that we focus on all the way through. A key focus that we started in 2016, though, was where we started to look at reading at that time, and then later at math instruction and evidence-based assessments. What we found is that if we don't do the right thing on the early end of this, early end of the continuum for young people, how do we expect them to be a high school graduate on the long term? You know, when we look at high school graduation rates and kids that are dropping out, or kids that don't have the skills when they apply for jobs or along the way, a lot of that starts with kids that are able to read and do the basic math skills. So when we went through our program model, I'll share with you, we created at the Boys and Girls Club a holistic approach, because the goal is that we wanted to bring in all of the things that were necessary to really help kids and make sure that they were truly successful. Some of the cool things that we were able to bring in was Windsor Learnings, Sunday curriculum, and I don't know if you guys know Orton Gillingham, it's a teaching product and curriculum that's been around for 50 years. We found that our kids, when you have kids that are coming to the club, they're coming from over 100 schools. And how many teachers? And so all of the ways in which they're being taught to read in school is completely differentiated. And so some of them, it just wasn't working and they were getting frustrated. So we brought in a curriculum that we can teach each of our kids, and it's a learning framework, teaching phonetic awareness that goes along a continuum and stays with the kids. And we're able to, using that curriculum, be able to move kids, as you'll see in the next slide, we'll be able to move those kids to grade level. We also have to provide really fun, engaging programs because you can't do school after school or in the summer. So youth development is the part that we twist on everything we do educationally and add a really super fun component. So kids do literacy instruction in the gymnasium doing an obstacle course where along the way they have to say the word, sound out the word, and then move to the next thing. We've had opportunities for kids to run around a field outside, and they have to solve a mathematical equation at each corner of the park. So there's just tons of way that we can bring youth development with education so kids are having fun while they're learning to read or to do math facts. Social emotional learning is across the board for all of our kids. And what we want to do is set up where kids come in the club after school, and if they've had a really hard day, we stop and we check in with them and ask them how they're feeling. So often kids go to school and they just have to jump right into whatever's going on, and what we're able to do is slow them down, see how they're doing, have some really good conversations, give them tools to be able to express themselves, and then jump into the hard work of learning to read and the math skills and all the other activities that we're doing at the club. If kids get in trouble, the bottom right on the slide, that's our take a break space. We don't want to be punitive. Telling a kid to take a time out doesn't work. And so we have learned to create these really cool spaces for kids to go to, because when you take a break, it's something you can do on your own. So you might be given a directive to take a break, but over time our kids learn that that's where they go when they need to kind of step away from the program and then be able to come back and jump in and get the project done or the activity done that they were working on. So how do we know where kids are at? So I said they move up a level. So what we found 4 years ago is that we needed a really strong external assessment tool to tell us what was going on with our kids. The schools don't give us the information. We can assume kids can learn to read by sitting with them and reading a book. That's not evidence-based, high-fidelity assessment tool that will really take us where we need to go, and I also can't fundraise off that. So we went to FastBridge, which is used by the Minneapolis and St. Paul and Ridgefield school districts as well. And so 5 times a year we assess our kids. Sometimes in the summer will be the spring and summer. On the front end of summer will be the one test, and then you'll see on the next slide, the summer turns into the fall based on when we take the test. The color codes are just to give you some information. If you hear kids, there's teachers in your schools might be talking about color-coded levels where your kids are at in reading. And that just helps us. That can be used for math or for reading. So red is where kids are significant below. Yellow is they're still below. Green, they're at grade level, and then blue, it's called college pathway, but they're definitely 1 or 2 grades or more ahead. Cool news was this year we're in the midstream finishing up our assessments, and we've already seen some great results. So 2 years ago, when we had a big enough cohort, 22% of our kids leveled up. That means they went from one grade level to the next. So they're catching up and getting closer to grade level. This summer already, we have 56% of our kids that are already moving up a grade level. So it's a lot to move over the course of summer. You've heard in the media how bad it is right now. Our kids are not just learning to read and moving up in their score. They're jumping up a grade level, which is the whole goal of the whole initiative in the program, is to make sure our kids are on track grade level wise. One cool thing that also just with this is that the kids, when they take the test and they come back, they get to see their scores. They're so excited. We've had parents that have cried and been super thankful. Our staff are excited. And the other thing is the schools are now excited because we just spent all summer with these kids. They're not going back in the fall behind. They're going back closer to be on track or even above grade level when they go back to school this fall. Just to share with you, this is where the different color coding comes in. So Delane is a second grader, and this is really cool. You can see over time, and if I'm gonna move a little bit over here, if you don't, I'll take my, to show you. Over here, you can see where the red is. That's where Delane was at the beginning of summer, and then the green is where, right now, that darker blue is college pathway above grade level. The cool part with the kids that I'm showing you is they went up in reading and they went up in math. Same thing with this little one. Look at that jump. They were at high risk. Now they're at grade level in one summer. Same thing, there's a little bit more work to be done in math, but they're still making growth. And then we're able to go back, because if we stay with the kids, we can see where they originally started, like here on the reading, and their ability to move up. So what we're finding, this works. And when something works, it helps support the kids, the staff, and the schools, the parents, everybody's on page. And it helps us in this way because then kids will be more willing to do the work after school. Our last little guy, Michael, same thing. He's at college pathway now, and he's reading at 2 grades above grade level, as well as he's moved into grade level on math. So this is why we do it, because we get these great results and we're able to really move kids along a continuum. And there's a ton more of these stories that we share, but I think that's where the meaningfulness comes in, because now we've got kids reading, we've got kids that can do math, and guess what? STEAM, this makes more sense. Because what we found is originally, like a few years ago, we couldn't get kids interested in STEAM or STEM. Because you know what? It's science. Ooh, that's math. Ooh, I don't know how to do that. I'm not good at that. It's not fun for me. So the more we're investing in the work that we're doing with our math and literacy program, the more success that we're seeing. The other thing I didn't mention is that our success in K-5 was so great that this fall we're going to add 6th through 8th graders on the math and literacy assessments and program. These are just a few of our great partners that have come in actually during COVID, which has been awesome. So there's some nonprofit partners, and also, as you can see, some corporate partners right here from our community. And these are people coming into the club, or which Best Buy is as well, but Best Buy is also building 2 Best Buy Teen Tech Centers, one at Richfield Middle School Club, as well as the Jerry Gamble Club in North Minneapolis. So this all makes sense because then we get to our teens. We talked a lot about little ones, we talked about a little bit about middle school, but then those middle schoolers turn into some of those older teens, and we want to keep them because what did I say? We want to graduate on time with a plan for the future. So this is really, really important that we add the creativity, and as you can see in the upper right-hand corner, the young people using the virtual reality programming. Like, how cool is that? Like, kids, like, there's just a lot of opportunities and things that we bring in the club and giving kids chances to do things. One of the cool things that we also were able to do is do a coding class with kids, graphic design, web design, you name it. Digital arts has been just on fire with kids. Kids want to do it, they want to participate in it, so we've really made that a big part of our opportunity for our kids to bring the things that they want to do, because guess what? They get the skills, they go to school post-secondary, and then they come out and work for all of you guys with all these amazing skills. So for us, we know that there's millions and millions of jobs that go unfulfilled in the STEM arena, so we've got to do our part to fill that gap at the Boys and Girls Club. Here's just some developmental areas and programming that we do at the club and looking at what's really, really important to kids. So if you're a teenager at the club, and you want to be successful, we as an organization need to focus on these developmental areas and put programming available in those targeted areas if we want to get to the other side of this. Some key things, we talked a lot about the 21st century skill building, STEM, creative arts, visual arts, and performing arts are involved in the creative expression. Service, that's volunteering. Do you know that every one of our kids this last year volunteered, did something in the club or in the community? Like during COVID, when there's all kinds of economic disparity issues, even within their own family, our kids went out and did something for someone else. They collected coats, they collected food, they brought food out. It was amazing, and that's what I'm saying. Like the club instills in these young people those values, those character building skills that help young people be really successful. They're leaders. So we have clubs called Torch Club and Keystone Club at the Boys and Girls Club for kids that are 8 to up to 18 years of age. They're literally a Rotary club for kids. So they do service, they do fundraising. I'm gonna have to bring back some of you guys' ideas to them. But it's really about doing some great things to be able to support not just their own long-term trajectory, but also supporting their community. Youth voice, as we talked about, it's been a really important part of our program this last year. Kids need a space where they can talk, they can reflect on things, and bring forward those really important solutions. Because what I find is, some of us as adults, we get stuck. Kids don't get stuck. They'll work together, they'll figure it out, and some of the solutions they can come up with are so much better than anything that we can as adults come up with. School success, that's at the forefront of the work we're doing. It's foundational. We have to make sure those kids are on track. So we have a lot of programs that directly support kids in the teen years to make sure that they're taking the right classes, they're being successful, they're on track to graduate. Lastly, planning for a future. Our kids we have embedded different programs that talk about career skills. So if you want to hire a really good employee, look for a Boys and Girls Club team, because they're the ones that are well prepared and ready. We also do a lot of virtual connections. So all of you that are in companies and you want to diversify your workforce, we can partner with you and do a workforce career day. And then in April 2022, we will host our second annual workforce fair, which will bring hundreds of companies and kids together in one place. And it's really just a workforce fair for kids, so it's an opportunity to get to know current job places that are hiring, as well as future career opportunities and post-secondary institutions attend. The big thing is we want to do everything we can to help support kids and be successful, because ultimately they have to go off to school. So our club, our organization, has wonderful funders who support our annual fund, but they also wanted to do something for our young people as they become young adults going off to school. And this last year, we almost doubled our amount of scholarship funds available, and 49 young people, young adults, are going off to school. We have someone going to medical school in University of Wisconsin, a PhD candidate to University of Hawaii, a lawyer going to William Mitchell, and everything else in between. So we are thrilled and excited for these young people, but at the end of the day, that's what this is all about. That's what I'm coming to talk to you about today, is that when you start in kindergarten and you build a program model that can stay with them, you end up with young people that are going out in the world and are going to be really successful. So questions, comments, anything from the audience?
How do you recruit students or get students? Are they recommended by the school, or how does that work?
So she wants to know how we get students, how we get club members to join the club. So word of mouth is huge. We have multiple generations of families of kids that come. So club alums kind of tell other club alums. Schools recommend us, families move in the neighborhood, and we do a lot of social media outreach to different people and letting them know that they can come in. And we also don't charge anything. Like pre-COVID, we charge $5 a year or $25 for the summer. That's like the whole day, like all summer long. So cost is not, that's why they do a lot of service and volunteering now to be part of be part of our group at the club. But yeah, there's just multiple spaces where kids find out about us. In the back.
I grew up in another state, and
my exposure to the Boys and Girls Club was through athletics. Is that a different focus, or is that just from me being in another state, or what is that about?
That is a great question. So she wanted to know, when she knew of a club in another state at another time, athletics was a huge part of that. So some clubs still make that, they call themselves, it's more of a swim and gym model. We shifted away from that. So when we look at our community, we look at what we have to, as a community of adults, have to solve, which is the education system. We had to focus more heavily. And so I'm a child psych education background person. So when I have been moving up in the organization, I've been gradually moving more towards that education as a priority. Our kids still play sports though. We have AAU teams, we have gymnasiums, we have all of that. But it's part of the whole package for kids, because we know if we focus on the things that matter the most and fill in also with the healthy lifestyles, like those choice opportunities, the kids will stay with us and be successful.
Wow, I'm almost exhausted here from all the information, and this was great because this is a whole new view that I have of the Boys and Girls Club. I'm kind of like Jennifer in the back there, you know, we go and swim and whatever. So wow, thank you. First of all, thank you for sharing your time with us, but more importantly, second, is that you are living out the service, you're walking the talk, and we appreciate that.
Thank you.
Here's our promo. Rotary is a global network of 1.2 million neighbors, friends, leaders, problem solvers who see the world where people unite and take action, like you, to create lasting change across the globe, in our communities and in ourselves, from literacy and peace to water and health. Rotarians are always working to better our world, and we stay committed to the end. In honor of your presentation, we will make a donation to My Very Own Bed, a local nonprofit that provides new beds to children moving into stable housing. And My Very Own Bed gives a new bed, set of sheets, blanket, pillow, mattress pad, stuffed animal, and a book to children who might otherwise go without. So thank you so much for coming and sharing with us today, and best to you for great success in this coming year.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Terryl, for being here. Thank you, visiting Rotarians, for being here. We so appreciate it. Where is Tom Gump? He's out there. Thank you, guests, for coming and considering us. Our Rotary International theme this year is Serve to Change Lives. And we do that by re-engaging with our club. So certainly come to the gala. That's a way to re-engage. If you'd like to help out in any amount of time, talk to Jody, Paul, or Kayla. They could help. Also, Camp E is right around the corner, an entrepreneurial workshop for 2.5 days. You can certainly reach out to Rob Rudding if you consider being an essay reader, a venture capitalist, a small group leader. So thank you, Rotarians, for all you do and how you change people's lives. Looking ahead, next week we have Edina's own Gene and Katie Paluski, owners of X-Torch, which was featured on the Shark Tank, talking about their business and their entrepreneurial stuff. September 1 is Vocational Happy Hour at CW's with our own member, Jane Ellingson Solheim, talking about her business. Our leadership series is coming up Wednesday, September 8th on Goal Achievement. The car show, free, fun, bring your family. September 11th, the Walked-In Alzheimer's, Target Field on the 18th. Let's Dance, and then Camp Enterprise. Every kid is one caring adult away from being a success story. Josh Shipp. Meeting adjourned.